The arrest of Tommy Robinson for running an event or conducting an event called Uniting the Kingdom in London is sparked off massive debate. A senior judge has issued an arrest warrant for this far-right campaigner who's often dubbed a racist. Is he really a racist? But more importantly, it was a campaign to say Uniting the Kingdom. And look at the crackdown that happened. The open case of two-tier policing. Two gentlemen who spoke about this the last time around we spoke when the matters went out of hand in Leeds and also on the streets of London, ladies and gentlemen, are back with us, Pandit Satish Sharma and Adit Kothari. Now, namaste gentlemen, both of you are residents of the UK, so take us through
Namaskar.
What's happened. Pandit Satish Sharma ji, what is this an example of and what happened?
So Tommy was apparently arrested under the Counter-Terrorism Act. Now, he was leaving the country and stopped at a port. Now, the Counter-Terrorism Act is a particularly draconian and very, very forceful piece of legislation. The police and the authorities are allowed to detain a person with a very particular profile. And the profile in the letter of the law is that they can stop a person to determine that they may be involved or concerned in the commission, preparation, or instigation of acts of terrorism. So the powers are granted, but a prerequisite is that there is some sort of indication that terrorism is on the cards. Now, we had 100,000 people who were all in support of the same message that Tommy Robinson was giving whilst he was here in London. You mentioned this two-tier idea, and it's something that we've talked about before, the manner in which anti-Semitism marches are regulated and the manner in which the pro-Palestinian marches are regulated gave a clear indication that two-tier policing was here. But I have a bigger worry, and that is that it's not just two-tier, it may be multi-tier. You know, there is a principle that lady jurisprudence is blindfolded, and that is to prevent her looking at the identity of the person in front of her so that law can be given without fear or favor. Now, the worry is that we have got a Labour government with a Home Secretary, Yvette Cooper, who is on record of already expressing anti-Tommy Robinson views in public. We have a police force which has been heavy-handed with particular bias according to domestic protests. And finally, we now have the Terrorism Act being leveraged. The Terrorism Act is never leveraged except where there is a threat to national security. I don't think that's the case. My bigger concern
his campaign was to unite the kingdom, and the Terrorism Act has been invoked against him. But was this act invoked against those who ran riot and ran amok in Leeds, Adit Kothari, or against those who were out there in an open show of what is nothing akin to the spirit of the United Kingdom not so long ago in London?
No, absolutely not. I mean, here is the case where British polity is essentially demonstrating, that they are pandering to a certain section, while they are not. They're certainly uncomfortable with a certain section which actually wants to speak against the political correctness. And that is, you may disagree or agree with Tommy Robinson. I mean, I don't endorse his stance on, his blanket disdain for Islam, for example. You can talk about the institutions, you can talk about the political correctness that the polity indulges in, or you can talk about the academia, the kind of intellectual cover fire that they provide to the Islamists. But I don't agree with Tommy Robinson's, blanket stance on Islam being a danger or a threat to British civil society. So the problem essentially lies with...
I'm sure that the British police does not agree with the Palestinian version of openly supporting the Hamas, whose doctrine is to destroy every single Jew on the planet and wipe out every single Jew on the face of this planet. But they are allowed peaceful protests.
And that is precisely where the problem stems from. That's the intellectual cover fire that they're providing to the extremists, that they're providing to those endorsing, terrorist organizations like the Hamas. And the objective in this case, where they arrested Tommy, when he was leaving the country in Kent, was very simple. Under the Terrorism Act, you can actually arrest someone and you can have them behind prison for 14 days. As opposed to a standard procedure where you can arrest them for 24 hours, with when they can
Right.
enforce a bail condition. So the objective was basically to break him further. And what to my mind, it's ludicrous that someone sitting within the polity and the policy making and the law enforcement agencies do not understand how persevering someone like a Tommy Robinson is.
No, and
You've
look at the
tried
support. They are
multiple
holding
times.
the British flag. They are not holding a flag that is alien to the British lands. They are holding the Union Jack, and then they have an opinion and they are expressing it. And the Riot Act has been read, and the Terrorism Act has been invoked, and that's what's being done. Isn't that in sharp contrast to what was witnessed last week? Gentlemen, we will speak at length on this, but I have to wind up for the moment. I have run out of time. Thank you. Thank you very much, Pandit Satish K. Sharma, and also Adit